Look, when it comes to the Elon Musk Twitter deal, there's a lot of hyperbole, a lot of overblown emotions, a lot of things that shouldn't be appearing in quote-unquote news stories from major news organizations such as the AP, Reuters, etc., etc. There are a lot of people that are really terrified about this, as headlines will show you. I mean, from the AP, it says, as Musk buyout looms, Twitter searches for its soul. Does that sound like a news item to you? Anyway, there's so much going on with this deal. We have a lot to talk about, and frankly, a lot to break down, because with the recent pause in, well, the movement forward of this deal, which I think is just, ridiculous. But anyway, there's some stuff going on in the background that some of the information's probably right, and some of it's definitely completely wrong, and it's being done for a reason. I'm sure you can all guess why, but let's take an in-depth look, shall we? I think we should on this Tech Tuesday. Here we go. Let's start here. Let's start with the article that I talked about during the cold open. As Musk buyout looms, Twitter searches for its soul. Well, it already had a soul. It was good to begin with, and then it got corrupted by a bunch of politics and other crap trying to steer the populace in a particular direction. And for whatever reason, whether it's deserved or not, Twitter's become the quote-unquote de facto town square, at least for most of the world. But why? A lot of people continue to point out that Twitter's not real life, it's algorithmically driven, which Musk talks about recently, and we'll get to that, I promise. But it also has a problem. It doesn't reflect a giant portion of the population. It's infinitesimally small, and there are a handful of people that basically drive everything that's going on the platform. And even the superstars and celebrities, well, as has been pointed out recently, a lot of them don't even utilize the platform anymore. Well, at least not regularly or frequently. And you know what? You can't blame them, because unless they're trying to drive a particular narrative or agenda item, there's just no benefit in it for them. And again, we can talk about all of those things, from beginning to end, but let's focus on the business aspect of this, shall we? We've got the simple fact that Elon Musk put his $44 billion Twitter buyout on hold is basically freaking everybody out. And from, of course, the insider, otherwise known as Business Insider or whatever, they have a lot of insiders. But anyway, let me continue on reading from this headline. It says he could be trying to get it for a better price, buying himself time, or preparing to scrap the deal altogether. And of course, when I pulled this article, which was just a couple of hours ago for the video that you're seeing the following day, there was a lot of things going into this. There's analysis of this, at least from what they try to portray as non-disingenuous analysis, but we'll go through it. Elon Musk said Friday he put the $44 billion Twitter buyout on hold, which, like I said, experts said that this could be a negotiation tactic to get a better price, which seems very Elon to me, right? 4D chess guy. Some say Elon Musk could be maneuvering to abandon the deal altogether. I say that's significantly less likely, considering he re-emphasized his interest in continuing the deal. He says that he put it temporarily on hold, according to the story here, while he scrutinized the number of fake and spam accounts on the platform. And as you will see during the course of this video, there's a lot of reasons to be concerned and to scrutinize these numbers. I promise you, we'll get to it. So the timing is puzzling. Musk tweak cited a Reuters report on a Twitter filing that was 10 days old at the time, and which didn't contain any new information about fake accounts. Well, actually, it just reiterated that there was a decent chance that there was a considerable portion of accounts well beyond what Twitter is willing to concede that are fake, spam, or bot accounts that are essentially there to, push forward narrative, agenda, etc., etc. Oh, by the way, sub item here, and this is just for fun. It could possibly be that the reason you've seen so many accounts return recently, and you've seen some accounts, some significant accounts that would be considered maybe on the left side of things, losing a boatload of people that are interested in their content, those might have been spam accounts. Now, why else would all of those people disappear all at once from these significantly, important figures? And at the same time, how did people who were banned all of a sudden return to the platform? Because they need to balance out the margins, because they need to make it seem like there are more real people. They had to bring back real people in order to, pad the numbers so that they got closer to what they are trying to portray as a 5% spam bot problem. I don't know. Speculate that amongst yourselves. Anyway, so in a note to clients on Monday, Wedbush analyst, Dan Ives said pressure on Tesla stock and a volatile market and the dealing with the financing issues suggested Musk has gotten cold feet after about the buyout and could be using the fake accounts issue as a scapegoat to push for a lower price. I don't think it's a scapegoat. I think it's a negotiation tactic, but that's interesting. In fact, that's actually what analyst Bernstein at Bernstein's told CNBC is that it's probably a negotiation tactic, which I agree with. Unless Twitter grossly misreported data, and this is a quote from Stefano Baniani, which would be a serious security fraud, this might be a way to either negotiate a lower price or walk away. Two analysts also told the Financial Times that they believed Musk was trying to leverage a better price. So that's probably what it is. I have a feeling that we're going to see some significant changes in the deal based on some of that speculation. But let's talk about what's really happening here in the background. The Twitter spam bot boilerplate, this is from Variety now, which Elon Musk says he's paused the deal over, goes back nearly a decade. That's right, this information about these spam accounts, these bots, that's been hidden for over a decade. So is he getting cold feet over the $44 billion bid for Twitter, or is he just trying to drive the price tag down? They're asking the same questions, probably smart questions, right? So on Friday, he hit the pause button, citing the need to conduct due diligence. Now, I'm going to pause myself right there and say this deal was done 1000% in reverse. You see, normally when you go out to acquire another company or you're going to buy something of this kind of significance, you do your due diligence up front. You have all of the data, all of the material, everything you can possibly gather before walking into the room. Now, with something like this where you're pressured for time, you want to try to not be held in a position where there could be a poison pill put in place, which had already been done, or any of these other things, you are doing a deal in reverse, which is what Musk has ended up doing here. So now he's kind of trying to, before close of the deal, which should be in October, get the due diligence done to get more information about what was going on inside of Twitter and what might still be going on prior to the acquisition, because it could be that this company is not even worth half of what the stock reflects at the moment. But hey, that's just an aside. We'll continue. However, the disclosure that has been in Twitter's SEC filings for years, literally since the company first went public in 2013, it's right there in Twitter's S1 registration statement. We currently estimate, and this is a quote, that false or spam accounts represent less than 5% of our monthly active users. And since then, Twitter has regularly reported the same stat in its filings and updated for when it shifted reporting monthly to daily active users starting in Q4 of 2018. That's a significant date, and I'll tell you why. Because if we move over here, Pew Research did some work in April of 2018. They revealed in their headline 5 things to know about bots on Twitter. This is interesting. And by the way, there's a video out there, as you can see on your screen, about how they went about identifying Twitter bots. But here we go. It's no secret that there are bots on Twitter, but how do bot accounts, which automatically create tweets without direct human oversight, actually affect the mix of content on Twitter? This was some very important research. A lot of people missed it. So over a 6-week period during the summer of 2017, they examined 1.2 million tweets. The study identified bots using quote-unquote botometer, which learns patterns from hand-classified account data produced by trained experts, people who actually do analysis of the data, and they basically just put that into the machine, and the machine actually just learns. There's a lot of great AI out there, let me tell you. To count how many times human and bot accounts shared links to particular websites, we wrote a computer program to follow each shared link to its destination. Then we isolated 2,315 most commonly shared sites with meaningful content and classified those kinds of content that appear on those sites. Here's 5 key takeaways from this study. Number 1, automated accounts post the majority. You just hear that? The majority of tweet links to popular websites across a range of domains. So 66% in total. 90% is adult. 90% of that, 66% is adult content. 76% is sports. 73% is commercial product. 66% is news and current events. 62% is celebrities. Are you getting a pattern here? Organization or groups are 53%. Those are NGOs and non-profits alike. And then, of course, 50% of the tweets are automated by Twitter.com themselves. Fascinating. And that's based on an analysis of 1.2 million tweet links. That's insane. So 2/3, 66% of all tweeted links were shared by suspected bots. Nuts. Number 2, this is number 2 in this study. These are the conclusions they were able to draw. Suspected bots also accounted for 66% of tweeted links to sites focused on news and current events. Again, I shared those numbers just a moment ago. They're just breaking it down here. Third, among news and current event sites, those with which political content saw the lowest proportion, 57% of bot shares. That's interesting. While much of the discussion surrounding bots is centered around their sharing of political content, this study finds that the proportion of automated link shares among sites featuring political content is lower than among sites not featuring political content. And you can see that in the aggregate there. Number 4, about 9 in 10 tweet links to popular news aggregation sites, that's 89%, oh my gosh, were posted by bots, not humans. That's insane. This is a significantly higher share than for sites that are primarily produce their own news content. These aggregation sites often feature a screenshot or posted image of a news story produced by another news outlet, as well as a description of the original reporting. And we see that all the time. And of course, the 5th observation here is the most active Twitter bots produce a large share of the links to popular news and current event. It's insane, folks. They break it all down. This is an excellent piece of research, and I would encourage you to go find this YouTube video on what they did. But again, this isn't something that is unknown, because Reuters did an article just the other day, 2 or 3 days back, that was basically, do spam bots really comprise under 5% of Twitter users? Elon Musk wants to know, and believe it or not, we should want to know too. So again, since 2013, Twitter's downplayed the spread of fake accounts on its platform, and basically saying it was less than 5%. The discrepancy between what it actually is and that number, there could be a lot of bad things going on. I'm going to use the word fraud, because if it's more than 5% and they've been putting that number out there in public for that long a period of time, that's fraudulent. And that's actually quite serious. There could be, financial ramifications for this, but there could also be even larger issues with this, maybe even criminal. Well, actually, most likely criminal if it's this kind of fraud. And when it comes to the Securities and Exchange Commission, you don't want to do that. You don't. But we'll move on. So while this may be a negotiation tactic by Musk, what is clear is that almost nothing is certain when it comes to how these accounts are defined or dispersed, with, according to current employees and independent social media researchers, so trying to give them some wiggle room. So the social media platform said on May 2 in a public filing that there were fewer than 5% of its 229 million daily active users who are targeted with advertising are false or spam. Here's the problem. Researchers estimate that anywhere from 9% to 15% of the millions of Twitter profiles are automated accounts or bots, based on one early study from 2017. They have that estimated number, says Dan Bramley, CEO of Israeli tech company Cyabra, that uses machine learning to identify fake accounts. Cyabra estimates the percentage of inauthentic Twitter profiles at 13.7%. That's a lot. Meta, which owns competitor platforms like Facebook, Instagram, likewise have estimated that their fake accounts represent about 5%, at least of their monthly active users. Meta also estimates that about 11% are duplicate accounts in which a single user maintains more than one account, a practice considered acceptable on Twitter. Well, yeah, I mean, I have a couple of Twitter accounts, one for personal use and obviously one for CultureCasino. That's right, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Gilded, go find my Gilded server, I'm on Minds, I'm on Getter, I'm on Rumble, I'm in a lot of places, so check them out. Twitter rules specifically do not bar impersonation and spam, meaning fake accounts are banned if the company determines that their purpose is to deceive or manipulate others, by example, engaging in scams, coordinating abuse campaigns, or artificially inflating engagement, which I think is the whole purpose of these bot accounts. So they're actually obligated to do better due diligence than this. And let me tell you, this gets worse. One Carnegie Mellon University study analyzing the spread of the global crisis and the falsehoods around it in 2020, they found that the top 50 influential retweeters, 82% of them were bots. 82%. What's that number? 4% of active users provide, 85-90% of the content on Twitter? Terrifying. Inside Twitter, the measurement and detection of false or spam accounts is a complex problem that is not well defined or understood by many of the company's own employees. That's kind of terrifying. They have an awful lot of employees. No wonder there have been a lot of cutbacks recently. Parag is really trying to thin the herd. 3 sources familiar with the matter told Reuters that previous information. Of course, they were all speaking with anonymity, so we can't really cite their sources, and that's okay. A lot of times, everything's anonymous, which means it may or may not be real. Coming out of Reuters and AP right now, I'm not sure what we get to trust anyway. But Twitter uses varying metrics and definitions to measure such accounts, which are also dependent on the company's accuracy in detecting content that constitutes spam, one of those sources said. It also is challenged in its ability to accurately estimate the number of fake and spam accounts, and new accounts are always being created. Well, of course they are. Isn't that a good problem to have? But ultimately, does any of this matter? Because apparently, in an article that basically came out Sunday night on the 15th, or I should say Saturday night, early Sunday morning, however you want to look at it, Tesla founder Elon Musk revealed that Twitter's sample size was less than 100 when it came to fake accounts. Are you kidding me? Well, in response to that, according to Business Insider's headline, Elon Musk says Twitter's legal team told him he broke his NDA by revealing its sample size for fake accounts. Their sample size is 100. They have 229 million subscribers. Holy cow. Supposedly, and this is a bullet point here, Musk violated his NDA by revealing the sample size. He claims he was told by Twitter's legal team. I guess they informed him, hey, you kind of broke your NDA here, dude. He came out with a statement in that is essentially its own bullet point, which is Twitter users are being manipulated by its algorithm that has potential bugs. He later tweeted, no kidding. Elon claimed that his legal team did tell him this was a problem. He did violate the NDA. In a tweet on Saturday, Musk said his team would run its own random sample of 100 Twitter accounts, revealing on Twitter that he chose 100 random accounts to gauge the number of spam accounts, as that is what Twitter uses to calculate their 5% of fake spam and duplicate accounts. Holy cow. Revealing Twitter's sample size seems to have been what landed Musk in hot water. So there you go. He violated his non-disclosure. Nobody knows what any of that means or if there's any ramifications from it. Who knows? But I tell you what, that does expose Twitter to a lot of ridicule, and it should. Musk since appeared to take aim at the Twitter algorithm itself, telling users that they are being manipulated and warning of potential bugs in its code. Here's the tweet right here. Very important to fix your Twitter feed, which I did right away when I saw this tweet myself. Tap the home button, tap the stars in the upper right screen, select latest tweets. That solves a huge problem. You're being manipulated by the algorithm in ways that you don't realize. It's easy to switch back and forth to, see the difference, and he's not wrong. He then clarified all of that later, according to the article, saying, "I'm not suggesting malice in the algorithm, but rather it's trying to guess what you might want to read, and in doing so, it inadvertently manipulate or amplify your viewpoints without realizing this is happening." And maybe you wondered how TDS spread so quickly. It's because of confirmation bias driven by an algorithm. See, this is a problem with social media driven in this particular way. It doesn't just look for the things that you potentially could be interested in. It finds the things you're interested in and only feeds you that. So if it's getting bad information because you looked at a tweet that, mischaracterized something that, a previous presidential candidate said, or previous president said, or even a current president said, you're only going to get more phishing down that particular, well, I guess phishing's the wrong analogy, but you're going to get the same dive down in the same rabbit hole, and you may never come up. And this has been talked about as a problem, and it truly is one. But let me tell you, it's a problem for both sides, and that's essentially the divide is being driven by an algorithm. So sometimes AI is not awesome. Anyway, all I want to say is this. You're seeing a lot of stuff around this Twitter deal. You're seeing the government react. They're terrified of having somebody come in and remove this algorithm. They, basically give you back your timeline, allow you to be interested in the people you're interested in with maybe a little bit of a suggestion here or there. They know that what will happen here is what happened to begin with Twitter. You're going to get a lot of, people in the middle participating in this, sometimes a little bit center right, and that terrifies politicians, especially a particular breed of politicians who are trying to drive everything towards, a more authoritarian Marxist socialist thing, which again, don't talk about politics here. Everything I just said you can debate. It's going to be hard for you to do because that's actually what's been happening, but it's again not my intent to argue the politics of it all. I'm just saying it's really easy to see people going down a particular rabbit hole if they, again, focus on one particular thing, because that is going to be all that gets served up to them. Which may explain what happened to news media. They all went after the same thing because they thought they were getting traction on the same thing, and it was just one giant circle jerk that just kept repeating itself. Well, these people are interested in this according to Twitter. Well, the Twitter's driven by an algorithm. The algorithm is corrupted because it's only feeding you the stuff that is confirmation bias. It's not actually fact. It's not even accurate information. In fact, if you want to explore the idea of misinformation, you're going to have to go a lot farther. You're going to have to, start with the news organizations themselves that continue to peddle baloney sausage. But again, that's not what this video is about. But I have to ask you, and this is where we get into it. What do you think? Do you think Elon's going to pull out of this deal? I don't. Do you think Elon's kind of using this as an opportunity to get a cheaper price? I do. Do you think that he should be concerned about the number of spam accounts and bots that are on Twitter? I do as well. And if you've stuck with me this long and you've made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave me a comment and let me know that you made it to the end. Just put that in there. That would be amazing. And then give me your thoughts as well if you have some, because I'm genuinely interested. And this is one of those times that I will double down on my efforts to get into my comments and engage, because you guys are amazing and I appreciate each and every one of you. All of you, guys, girls, whatever, right? I don't want to be exclusionary. I want everybody to participate. And with that being said, support other independent creators here on the platform. Again, Lots of great ideas, diverse ideas out there. That's the kind of diversity we want. So support a lot of independent creators because they're not getting the kind of support that they should on a platform called YouTube. Right now, this platform and many others support corporate content creators and not the people who actually got the platform where it is in the first place. So let's turn that around, shall we? Support those independents, give them a like, give them a subscription, turn on the notifications, comment on their stuff, and share their items around, just like I hope you do with mine. And with that being said, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. It truly is. And until next time, bye. Hey there, one last quick note before I let you go, and before we make it to the end of this video. I, CultureCasino, have a brand new Teespring store. That's right, you can now go to Teespring, look up CultureCasino, or use the link in the video below, and pick out some handsome and beautiful CultureCasino merchandise with many different designs and styles and colors. Many different items. I was actually surprised at all of the things that you could create, and I have some more designs and items on the way here shortly. But, you know, if you want to support the channel in that way, there is some merch. Otherwise, here comes the ending. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.